I'm happy, I'm feeling glad I got sunshine in a bag. I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming up, up.
At the starting of the week, at Summit Talks, you'll hear them speak. It's only Monday. Negotiations breaking down. See those leaders start to frown. It's sword and gun day. Tomorrow never comes until it's...
Right, welcome back to the MX5 turbo build. Since the last video, I've started ordering the parts up to start again. Managed to get a new engine for it, which was a little bit of a bastard, as it's the 1.8 non-VVT. But we've got one, low mileage, 70,000 miles, got full, got good compression across all cylinders. Now, instead of fitting a factory turbo kit to it, the next job will be to remove the engine, which will be done, and we'll put a video up of it getting done. Then we've bought some goodies. Now, we supply these, which is the Skunk2 Ultra and the Skunk2 throttle body. Now, if you're building a turbo MX5, I would recommend the Skunk2 throttle body, because on the original throttle body, these can apparently break and get sucked in the engine. Now, on the Skunk2, that isn't the case. The only issue you got with the Skunk2 throttle body is the spring isn't very tight, so you can have sticking throttle body issues. Now, the way to get around this, which I'm going to do a video on, is by undoing this and drilling a hole further around for the spring to sit into, which is something that we can do in-house. Our next part for the build is the ME221. Again, something we can supply, that we can get out here. Now, I had an ME221 into it, but when I first blew it up, I just decided to sell all the parts off it, and now that I was going to break it. But now that's come back to bite us, because I'm wanting to build it again. This time round, I've bought a bigger intercooler. It's not too big, but what it does, it'll sit flush under there. You'll be able to see it, and it should be efficient enough for the horsepower of the car. Now, next is my favourite, which is a nice little max speed and rods Chinese turbo, which people are going to say, well, why have you spent all that money on the Skunk2 Ultra and the throttle body and then bought a £110 turbo? Basically, we do Civic turbo builds, as you can see, and all we ever use is Chinese turbos, because we've had nothing but trouble with branded turbos. So that'll do me completely sound. I've then bought some universal pipework. Now, this is just Toyo Sport universal pipework. It's black. It's 2.5 inch, which a lot of people only run 2 inch on the MX5s, but it's 2.5 inch to the 2.5 inch intercooler. And the way we're going to route this is down through there, through that side. We're going to keep the power steering, because to be honest, I don't fancy driving them without a power steering, or even a depowered rack, as that I'm just not into that. It's not worse than driving something like that on the street, or even trying to slide the carb out and having god awful fucking heavy steering. I'm still waiting on solid engine mounts. Now, I'm going to do something controversial. I'm not going to be running a blow-off valve on it, as I don't run it on my drag car. There's none of this issue of compressor stall and it'll knock the turbo. That's just, half the time it's just a myth. The blow-off valve's just something else to go wrong. And to be honest, I'm not fancy using a cheap blow-off valve, and I don't really want to pay the money for an expensive one, because I don't like the noise of them. Next thing I've got is the competition clutch, stage 4. Again, something we can supply for the MX5s. This is more than capable of handling the power that I'm wanting to be running, that's for sure. I bought it, well, actually I didn't buy it because I supply them, but I got it in stock, ready for the MX5 to see, basically just to see what I can push on standard engine, as I don't know what the stock clutch could take. Didn't really want to find out rather just do everything right the first time round. We're going to be doing a video of, we're going to be building this engine up outside the car before we put it in, putting the clutch on it, putting the manifold, putting the turbo manifold, which I'm still waiting for. We've actually went for a cast turbo manifold this time rather than a fabricated one. And we'll see what power it pushes. But yeah, just thought we'd do a little bit of an update on how far the build's coming along, what the crack is with it so far. And if you want any turbo parts, any bits for the MX5, then give us a shout. We'll be able to supply them. We've got a Walbro to go in it, Walbro 255, and I've got a Mach 3 boost solenoid, so I'm hoping I can run boost by gear, but I'm not a tuner, so I'll see what they can do with that. Yeah, should be a fun build. Should see how much power we can get out of it. It's all, what I didn't explain on my last thing is we do string alignment and setup, and it is actually all set up for drifting. As you can see, there is camber on the wheels, and it does just slide for the fun of it. As you'll have seen in my last video, that's one of the reasons why it blew it up. Never actually showed how clean the car is. Obviously the paintwork's a bit mucky because it's been sat inside for a while, but it is actually completely rust-free MX5. And when I say rust-free, I mean there is not a speck of rust anywhere on it. Not a single thing. Doesn't matter where you look on it. Under the bonnet, everything is very clean. Now we also do something else with these. A lot of people, when they do the boost lines, we put a vacuum block up here where you can see where I've had the holes drilled before. And all that does is, it just keeps all your pipework nice and neat and tidy, and it sits at the top, out the way, and it stops, it just looks tidier. Granted, obviously the engine bay is looking a bit of a mess at the minute. But yeah, like I say, we're doing time lapses of how of building the engine, what we're going to do with the sump, because a lot of people, in our old build, we drilled the sump while it was on the car, but since the engine's out, we're going to be taking the sump off, welding the AN10 fitting in, and putting some braided hose for the turbo drain. We're going to be creating our own turbo feed line, which we'll be using Torx bits. As that's just what we use in the Civic, so I kind of trust them, and I've never had a failure on them, so that is what we'll be using for that. Yeah, it should be a bit of a fun build and a fun thing for people to follow and see how much it is, and I'll total up the cost as well so far, so it's so people can see how much it costs to replicate and follow the build. But yeah, cheers for watching, and just click the like and subscribe.